You're listening to ArTEEtude, a podcast with artists created and produced by Detlef Schlich, a visual artist and ritual designer, living and loving in West Cork, and best known for his essay about the cause and effect of shamanism, art and digital culture. Working in the field of performance, photography, painting, sound, installations, and film, he will dive and discover with us and a weekly creative guest into the unknown and exciting deep ocean of the creative mind.
This is Detlef Schlich, and today we dive into the deep and unknown, exciting ocean of the creative mind together with Karlan Jones. Hi, Karlan.
Hello.
We're already in the third part in this ArTEEtude podcast with Karlan. In the first part, we had a chat about Karlan's life in school, Atlanta, how he was getting inspired to do his job as creative in broadcast, light setting, and different things as well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the third part, we're gonna go now as well more to other details, like we will speak about Karlan's podcast, for instance, the creative idea, why he came to that, maybe as well to other projects. Let's see how deep we can dive into this ocean today, Karlan.
Yeah. Let's dive deep.
yeah, great to have you here. Cool. I mean, I like actually your podcast idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Last Starfighter. I was wondering how did you came to this idea? So what was it?
The idea was I think I wanted to start a YouTube channel and to do movie reviews and things like that. And I was thinking, well, what could I name it? What theme can I inspire it to be? And I just thought about one of my favorite movies is The Last Starfighter, and I feel like it's pretty relatable to everything within movies. So basically, because I love movies and I just want to have an understanding to why people love movies that I just never cared to watch. So on my podcast, I watch the entirety of movies so my audience can watch it along with me. And it's almost kind of like DVD commentary that you'll find on like special features of your favorite movies. So yeah, you watch the entirety of the movies that I never cared to watch, or that my guests that I have on the podcast never cared to watch either.
Yeah, I must laugh because we had as well a podcast which you can find already probably in the description, and it was Reprisal. We watched the film with Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo.
What a weird movie.
Yeah, especially if you're not listening to the sound, but it's as well probably you can't. It's copyright issues as well, isn't it? I mean, you couldn't. If we would listen to the sound, you would get problems, or don't you?
For like the audio podcast, no, I don't. There's like no sound. It's usually just me and my guests, or usually maybe just me just talking through it. And then when I post it on YouTube, I just blur out the movie with no sound.
And that's what I mean. So if you would leave the sound in the audio podcast, it would. What is it? Is it because of copyright issues, or because of it's just distracting?
I think it's mostly because of both, actually. Mostly because of copyright. You know, don't want to get the YouTube channel or your podcast flagged or taken off for any crazy reason for that. And then, yeah, it's just really supposed to be just commentary. I think movie commentary is very entertaining to listen to.
I was invited last Friday on a little dinner party with friends, and I told them about this podcast with us, and they liked it, and he said
Nice.
then already to his partner, said, "Oh, I like this idea. We have to do that as well. Just as a game, you know. So you show me a film, and we get rid of the sound, and then we have a chat about that."
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to do.
I think it works better when you really gonna do it for an audience. If we speak about the art of podcasting, the art of podcast, it is different. Now, me as a media archaeologist, it is somehow similar with the art of radio making.
Yeah,
but on the other side, it is actually different because it's available almost all the time, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very similar to radio, and just in terms of kind of listening to just voices, you know. It almost kind of brings you back to like the golden age of radio, even though I'm way too young to remember those days. But
podcast is, in terms of modernity, somehow a child of the 20th century, isn't it?
I want to say 21st century.
So you're still would keep it to the 21st.
Yeah, podcasting
as a millennial child. Yes, yeah, because Karlan is what did you say, 27 years old?
Yeah, 27. So yeah, definitely a millennial.
so born 1994, no?
Yeah, 94.
So which I find that interesting. It's actually born still in the age where smartphones didn't exist, but internet was already there.
Yeah, internet was around, and then everything. It was kind of like I don't know, gradual to how technology just kept growing and growing to the point where, you know, I can remember where, like, I would have Facebook on my phone in high school, but it was such, I guess, an analog thing towards where it is now, where it's just so, I guess, just so updated, so unique, and it's like a part of your life now.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
So high school means we speak about 2000.
Like 2000. So since I was born in 94, the cool thing is like whatever year it was, that's what grade I was in.
Yes, so we speak 2000, yeah, I would say almost 2010, isn't it?
Yeah, 2010.
2012, where I just try to remember that. I mean, I was already in Ireland, and Facebook was already there. I started my I Love West Cork Artists group very early in 2010.
Wow.
But must admit, I didn't like social media too much. And I was trying as well. I mean, I must say as well, in the 90s, I didn't like computers. I mean, due to socio-political reasons, you know, because I said, no, the computers, they take humanity away, they take working space away, and you know.
Yeah.
And as my research eventually convinced me that I have to dig deeper into computing, because otherwise you end up as a computer dyslexic, you know.
Which is a lot of people's fears today.
in the 90s already, you know, and me as a musician, I was trying as well to avoid using computers. So our music was mostly guitar and drums based and all those things, you know. But we had as well bands like Kraftwerk came from Düsseldorf, and they influenced a lot the techno scene in the 90s too. So that was already very advanced too, you know. But
Absolutely.
that's so I didn't jump on the social media train in 2010, even as an artist. I should do, but I didn't because I was somehow allergic against that, you know. And I couldn't understand that the internet is getting so popular, you know, at the beginning of 2000, you know. So I don't know what it was. I mean, okay, it was. I mean, we live in a digital evolution or revolution, and some people, they are scared, and they really scared about that we are getting enhanced sooner or later and become digital slaves or whatever, you know.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
How do you think about that, you know, as a millennium guy? So
Yeah, I think for me personally, technology, since again, from being born in '94 to where it was not that big of a thing to where now it's kind of like another form of identity, the way technology kind of works. I personally believe that technology isn't good or bad. It's just how you use it in your day-to-day life.
No, I agree absolutely. I mean, it's for the good and for the evil. You know, it can educate, and it can distract as well. You know.
Absolutely, I find it amazing how I would say most people have like a God all-knowing device in their pocket that can just give you any information, anything, and then people mostly just look at cat videos or like cute animals on there all day.
This told me about that you would think so if we're gonna do a B movie with a shite script, it would be popular.
Yeah. I would say majority of the things that are popular are like pretty bad scripts.
Yeah. If I start to philosophize about our age where we are living in now, you know, about the 21st century and our digital culture, I still try to find analogies and start to compare and wonder how long does it take if this takes over and that takes over. But then when I dig into that again, and I see the different in filmmaking, for instance, in the 20th century, where we used actually a chemical process in order to reveal information, visual information. Where we use now the algorithm informations, the digital, the data in order to reveal the truth or not the truth, whatever. It depends what you have, what you filmed, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I still wonder, is this different really so huge? I mean, actually, so what changed is we changed from the chemicals
to
the electronical.
Yeah, chemicals, electronical, and then I guess now just, well, I mean, it's still or electronics really, but now things are starting to get really out of hand with streaming, and that's kind of changing the entire landscape of technology.
How?
Well, I always kind of try to look at like kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like the golden age of radio, and think about like, okay, well, what killed the radio? It was television, and people kind of stopped listening to radio and go more on television. And then now television has kind of died out because of the internet. And I feel that maybe the internet I think the internet is always going to still be a thing, but I think streaming or maybe virtual reality is going to take over next. That's what I think.
The first virtual reality actually already started as well in the last century was the first panorama.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
As they started to develop the panoramic view, people were able already to view something in a 360 degree thing, you know.
That's right. Yeah. And
So,
today with the virtual headsets, it's absolutely insane.
I'm currently researching Saints and Sinners.
Oh yeah.
The survival game. I must say, I really like it. You know, it is really it is quite. I mean, I'm not playing it very often. Or I'll say if I'm gonna play it, I play it an hour or 2 hours. You know, and
Right.
So I'm quite happy that I'm already in my age, because if they would catch me with this in the 20s, I would think 8 or 10 hours like
oh yeah, like it was nothing.
like a new romancer, you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So yeah. Well, how far do you think that streaming is one of the biggest things? Do you mean Netflix or what do you mean?
Yeah, Netflix. I mean, if you think about it, you look at you kind of look at all the popular shows or any TV show that's on cable or just on any TV provider. And I would say back from like early 2000s, a TV show, especially on primetime TV, would average about like maybe 5 to 10 million views that people watching. And then now you go on like primetime television, they can't get over like 3 million views of people watching.
How do you or your company or you guys reacting on that, you know?
Oh, well, I think streaming, for one, it has created more jobs in film because it allows companies to film a lot more shows and a lot more feature films a lot faster, because the more they can film, it's just easier for them to I guess publish all the content. They publish it all in one area, and then people would just subscribe to it and pay for it.
Do people want to see it?
Well, I mean, that just depends up to them. And I think, in my opinion, I think that's when a lot of TV shows and movies kind of lose substance a little bit, because now with streaming, you kind of have like the same stuff over and over, the same type of content. But yet people love it. People want it, I guess.
I mean, I have to admit, there are a lot of good shows there, you know. Like I watched, for instance, all the shows of the Americans, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There was but have you seen it?
Oh wait, the Americans, isn't that like Russian, the spy? The Russian family who are like spies.
Russian couple,
yeah. I have seen it. Yeah.
I mean, I really liked it, but in the last episodes or the last season, I thought, now the characters in general, they're already getting boring with the interaction, you know, because they can't do. They stick into the costume and they can't do any more, you know, and you already, because it was very much based on, it was a drama somehow, a crime drama, thriller drama, and
right.
And they used very often this non-spoken action. The non-dialogue between both, you know, and this was at the beginning. It was quite interesting to see him and her acting like this, you know, morally, you know. But that went through up to the last season, and I thought, it is now it's oversaturated, you know. So
Yeah,
It really,
I mean that's pretty common for a TV show to lose
sure.
its juice after a certain amount of seasons.
Sure. I mean, I must say there are a couple of like for me, for instance, Person of Interest. I really liked it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Um,
And you know what? I probably never would have watched it if it wasn't for streaming, because I didn't watch it when it came out.
No, me neither. I wrote 2015 my essay for my visual art degree, and I researched in shamanism art. Also, the essay was called Shamanism, Art, and Digital Culture, and I researched a lot in digital culture and like the film Person of Interest because of the story, especially about surveillance and all that, So it was really, and it was really far ahead from them. What I mean, they started, I think, 2010 or 2011 was it?
Right. Yeah.
So they were really they had very good script writers,
Yeah, they did. It's a good story.
I really appreciate the research what they did, So that was quite good. I mean, I told you that I used to do script writing in Germany as well, so I was really. So for me, it's often very difficult to find a movie where I'm really pleased with. No, actually, it's a digital life and the analog life and how it is as being a millennium guy like you in a time like now. Yeah, what do you are you scared? What happens with you when you see our society with fixed with our smartphones and
oh yeah, it's am I scared for society? I think in America a little bit, but I think that's mostly just because America kind of prides itself on like the wrong things in terms of like having like an unhealthy obsession with like celebrities and like influencers and things like that, and because of that, they live on the internet.
If I think, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are activists here in Ireland and who really try to live off grid and are somehow scared and so on and I mean, if you live so in the nature like me here, so it's completely a different thing. I mean, I know.
I bet it's awesome.
It is great for creativity, and I mean, I have my glass fiber thing here. I can do. I'm probably the only guy over here who has a 300, 400 megabyte, in a second. But I mean, I need it as a digital shaman.
Yeah.
and as a media archaeologist, and I mean, even if I send videos on Google Drive to my coworkers or whatever, so it's very helpful. That's for sure.
Right.
That's great. But as a critical theorist, somehow, or as a visual artist, what I am as well, my concern, which I had, because due to my essay, Shamanism, Art, and Digital Culture, where I was looking into that. How can we embrace the digital revolution?
Right.
Is it possible to embrace, or is it dangerous if it comes, for instance, to artificial intelligence and I mean, I already come more and more to the solution that we will change, and it will. We will become sometimes hybrids. I mean, this is a process which takes a while, and I think it will be as well a process which goes slowly and more subtle, where people even not really get it, because I mean we are all children of the Industrial Revolution 1.0, or of the evolution of the inventing of steam, or even if you go further back, if the first, and I told that my friends, I say, guys, we are all already, we were condemned somehow for getting coded as we started to become a consciousness, to see signs and making lines through light from it, and all giving this things a name, a code. Right. For me, I'm not really. I mean, I'm sometimes concerned about society in general, but I think this has not really something to do with that we're getting more technocrats. It is society in general, just like it is. I think.
Yeah.
It's overpopulation, and the more we become, then more difficult is it to keep the overview of us, But it's, for me, it's still interesting. So how, I mean, you're now already, and we are here in the third decade of the 21st century, and you're coming into your third decade of your life.
Yeah.
So how do you see the future? So yes,
I see the future as I think because of how technology is getting and how we're so glued to our phones, and how basically, like, even from like 80s and 70s and stuff like that, your wallet and your ID was like your identity. And now today is like your phone is a part of your identity. I think it's going to come to a point where I think the data that you store your information on is going to be have more valuable than the human life. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and that sure makes sense for me. But I agree totally. I'm just wondering, and this is with Aaron, anything else as well. So there will come the time where this oversaturation is there as well. That means where data is not interesting anymore. Like if the world would have so much gold that gold would lose value. If everyone could.
That's very true. Yeah.
Could and I think mining data is still easier as mining gold. And the availability of data is probably as well huger, bigger than the availability of gold. So I wonder what is the next big shit. So I mean, currently we're still somehow in the internet and the digital, but if you go back to the 20th century, we started then in order. One of the biggest revolutions probably, or revolutions in the evolution, was probably the change, to turn from the gas into the electricity. So 1900s, around that, where they started then in America to get first operation. First of all was gas, but then later they changed to electric.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wonder what would this be in an analogy in the 21st century, if we can compare that. What comes after now our digital thing? I mean, is it really the quantum digitality? Is it the artificial intelligence? Is it maybe a mix of it? Is it maybe a mix of all, including virtual reality? in 20 years where we don't need maybe our body anymore to go into holidays and we're gonna do it like in this film with Bruce Willis as well, surrogates, so we have a surrogate, so, and we just sleep for a week and then we
right, yeah.
and then that is digital shaman is coming again. We're flying away like digital shamans into our holidays to the Bahamas without stressing nature. That's another
Right.
point,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, streaming is as well for sure. Quite carbon print intensive,
It is.
and we have quite a lot of huge. If it comes to the blockchain, the mining of the maintaining of a blockchain costs a lot of carbon prints as well. So
It does.
So that's probably still not the best solution what we have, but the only thing what I still think why we are now in a digital age and why things changed is as well, if things making sense, this would be probably the sense that nature gets maybe sometime the chance to grow again, because we human we disappear more and more into our digital lives, I don't know if this is right or wrong. I leave that quite open. I mean, maybe you have a last word for that.
I mean, again, it's just how you choose to use technology. A lot of people can get lost in it, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but that's I think that's in every media the same, isn't it? I mean, if
yeah, in a sense, yeah.
If some people just get lost in yellow press newspapers, or and this and that, and in movies and even televisions, I mean, I think getting lost in radio, yeah. You still so people get lost in radio. So
people definitely got lost in radio back in the day.
Yeah, so listen to Karlan Jones' podcast and to my podcast far more often there.
Yeah.
I would say on that note, I just have to tell again now. So Karlan is now in the Hall of ArTEEtude. Karlan Jones in the Hall of ArTEEtude. You get, and if you want to support this podcast is a listener supported podcast, and you can go to www.arteetude.com, and there you find all the information about the podcast, plus my artwork, plus t-shirts, plus for instance, this is my diving in seaweed mug inspired by a friend of mine. He creates he's seaweed farmer, and we had here in Bantry, we had a huge fight against huge companies from I think Canada, who wanted to cut all the seaweed and like industrial and throw it away, So
Oh yeah.
So, but we are against it because then it's far more difficult. It's actually it is the natural forest, the natural underwater forest, and you can't just cut it like you cut everything.
Yeah.
You can go to your Instagram account is
Starfighter Reviews.
At Starfighter Reviews.
Yeah, reviews.
Yeah, and on Facebook he's at Karlan Jones, or you're gonna go to the I Love West Cork Artists on Facebook. You're more than welcome to join us there, and there's a lively discussion going on. You always see the new updates from the podcast shows. Even if you're an artist, you can post your own art, and people are very happy and they appreciate that, to look into that and to comment sometimes about it as well. So it is great. I'm as well on Instagram at D.Schlich, at ArTEEtude, and at I Love West Cork Artists. But you can find anything, like I said, in the description. I would say on that note, Karlan, thank you very much for having you in these 3 episodes.
Yeah, it was great being here. Thank you again.
It was cool. So you guys listened to Karlan's podcast, and we did the last podcast about Reprisal with Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo. Maybe you listened to it as well. So it was quite interesting. The concept was for me interesting as well. I really liked it. On that note, I would say bye, listeners, and ciao, Karlan.
Later.
You have listened to ArTEEtude, West Cork's first art, fashion and design podcast. ArTEEtude, never so close again. That was too close.
Yes.